Hello and welcome to Conversations with Captains on ATR TV. In this episode, we have with us Mr. Steffen Knapp, Director of Volkswagen Passenger Cars, who leads the sales, marketing and after-sales functions for the company in India. In this interview, we are going to talk to him on a wide array of subjects, including Volkswagen's position in the market today, his views on electromobility, on diesel as a technology, as well as BS6 norms.
First of all, obviously the industry is a fundamental factor. If it's growing, normally you should also grow. But the fundamental for our growth will be India 2.0. Our decision to produce and develop cars which are more Indianized and more locally engineers will move us into a next level. There's a lot of people are asking me, what is this now 10 years in the country and you are cruising around as a group at 2%. I think it is a natural thing that you have to develop a brand first, and it takes some time. In particular in a country where the ticket size we are selling in was not 10 years ago available. Our target group was pretty small. It's now been growing into bigger sizes, and we're talking in the future of 75 million people in this particular target group, which are willing to spend their money for more safer solution, for quality and for fun to drive. So I think moving our products into the heartland in terms of accessibility and value for money with the India 2.0 project, which is related, as you know, to a higher localization, will enable us to grow in this country at higher speed than the market. So our vision is clearly to get in with Volkswagen and with the group to a 5% market share in the upcoming years. We at Volkswagen, we are striving for 3%. And with this, to create a sustainable future for our ecosystem here in India, be it our partners, be it ourselves, be it our customers. Since Mr. Singh came into place here in India and he changed the economical policy, India was growing every year around 6 to 7%. And the population was growing by 1.5, maximum 2%. What does it mean? It's always a difference of 4 to 5%. So the wealth of this country is being grown continuously for everybody. So it's almost an automatic mobility, which is happening in the future from my point of view, that India is going to continue to grow, be it 2 to 5%. So it will grow because the natural hunger for mobility in this country is amazing. So we will see that this is kind of pretty stable growth in the upcoming years. Bharat 6 obviously is also a requirement for that country in a way, because the environmental situation is not going to get better. In contrast, if you have more industrialization coming into the country, and I'm not talking only cars, in particular the industrialization is moving the environmental constraints, and also the growth of the population, then you have to react also as a government. I think the reaction is right. You have to do something on environmental policy, and living in a city like Mumbai or you in Delhi gives me the proof every day. So, but this is not going to hamper the industry. It is going to be a challenge for us. It's going to be a challenge for the customers in terms of the price value composition. But like I said, the wealth of this country is growing now since when was he in power? 2000, 1998 around. The policy change after Nehru's more socialist politics came into place. The wealth is going to continue. In particular, we were discussing this because you have highly educated people. You will have a lot of people who have a salaried people, coming into the city in the country. In 2025, 250 million young people are entering the workforce here in India. So I think it will be a continuous growth. I think Bharat 6 obviously will have some consequences in combustion engines mixes. FAME 2 will have some changes also in the way and combustion engine in principle moving into other opportunities. That's clear. We will have to face that as a manufacturer. But in principle, I think the customer is willing to purchase those vehicles, is hungry for individual mobility. And we have areas in India where the mobilization has not taken place. and this will come. The fastest growing markets, you know this better than I, was tier 3 markets last year. So we had in the big cities like Mumbai, we had degrowth. Yeah. So this will, the cities like Surat, the cities like Ahmedabad, and Ahmedabad is a little bit bigger one perhaps, but these 3 to 4 million cities, Jaipur, all these kinds of cities, they were growing tremendously. Yeah. And this will continue. I'm 100% sure. Yeah. So a 5 million industry is not a miracle. Could be coming. Right. Yeah. It's not coming next year, but over time it will come. Because you know, today or last year, 234 times more people were traveling abroad.
Okay, that's an interesting statistic.
You know, that signifies the interest for global points, the interest for getting further experience, and the wealth is there to do it. Yeah, so there is really a growing middle class, and therefore I'm pretty sure that this industry will be stably and growing over the next years. Yeah, so first, the India 2.0 project is all about India. Yeah, so the market is so relevant that we need to be successful in this market. So when we created the project, we had to ask ourselves what are the necessary ingredients to be successful in this market, and what did we learn in the last 10 years? Yeah, that was also one of my parts. When you come here, you have the first thing what you have to do, you have to understand the market. I'm not an Indian. I consider myself as, be it a little bit now, overdoing, but kind of a cosmopolitan. I've lived in all around the world, but still I have to understand a particular marketplace, which is completely different. Yeah. So, and what did we do right and what did we do wrong in the past? So India 2.0 is all about developing the right product for the Indian market and be successful in India. That's the first and key objective. And to be successful in India, you have to do it the Indian way in terms of localizing the product, in terms of developing the product in design like the Indians want it. Yeah? So we're talking about ground clearance. We're talking about stance of an SUV. Yeah, we're talking about a little bit more shiny features. A lot of technology is required in this country. People want to have this 360 rear view camera, yeah, which is not that hot in Europe. Yeah, so in Europe you're more talking about how you drive, how fast can you drive. In India it's about torque. Yeah, so how fast can you accelerate? It's not about the end speed, because you hardly can drive more than 80, 100 in the country, no? So India 2.0 is not about a global thing, it's about really to be successful here. At a second step, obviously there are some that you can have some ideas. Yeah? So if Skoda is going to be responsible as a lead brand for Russia, for India, for the region, Asia in this Asia area, there can be also kind of be a hub be created for Thailand, for Malaysia, and so on. But that is potential second step, and it's not our key focus. Our key focus is to have to be successful in a market which will potentially be at a 5 million in the next 10 years. Yeah, and that is a big market. We will pass Japan. Right. We will be the third biggest market in the world, and that's not a small thing. Yeah. So therefore, to summarize, India 2.0 is clearly focused on India.